Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pav Bamber here from PSB Sports, and on the line with me, I've got British heavyweight, now the new WBO Asia Pacific heavyweight champion, Ian "Lay 'em out" Lewison. Ian, how are you, my friend?
Ian's doing good.
Good to hear, my friend. Good to hear. And Ian, obviously, you aren't feeling too jet lagged, are you? After your trip from China, you feeling all good?
No, I'm all good. I'm actually recuperating. I'm feeling good at this point.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So, Ian, firstly, we have to talk about your fight in China. What was the experience like, Ian, going out to China and fighting there?
Yeah, no, the experience was good. I felt that they welcomed me very well, and the whole experience overall was a very good one because the whole show itself was done to such a high and professional standard, and the welcome that we received was second to none. Everything was lovely. It was an incredible experience.
Sounds good. And of course, Ian, I'm sure in the future when you look for fights like world title fights, so on and so forth. I'm sure traveling abroad and stuff like that, which is something you might have to do in the future. This can only put you in good stead for the future, correct? Isn't that right?
Yeah, to me, it makes no difference because at the end of the day, it's the same thing whether you're fighting at home or away because it's the same thing. It's a crowd in the ring there, and it ultimately boils down to the same thing. You're fighting in front of people, whether you could be at home fighting in front of a hostile crowd or you could be away fighting in front of a hostile. It makes no difference to me. As long as there's a ring there and there's the crowd there, that's what you got to do. You just got to block out everything else and focus on what you're doing,
Sure.
irrelevant of where you are.
Absolutely, absolutely, and of course, Ian. Let's actually speak about that fight itself. Obviously, you won the fight by knockout against a guy who was 7-0 and undefeated. Very very impressive. Obviously, how would you assess the fight, Ian, from your standpoint?
To me, he was a very good fighter. He was a very good counter boxer. He was. He was a very good. He was very 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 slick and he was sharp. His punches were very precise. But as it happened that, it was two people in the ring, one had to prevail, and on the day I was the one who got the win.
Absolutely, and also, Ian, during training camp, what were you and Don Charles working on in particular for this fight, if it was anything?
Basically, how it was, we had an idea of who we were fighting. We were fighting Dennis Baktov.
Yeah.
Initially, he was the first opponent. He failed a drugs test, so obviously he was banned. He couldn't fight. So at the last minute, this guy was called in and he made to replace Dennis Baktov. So the facts were going into this, we never knew nothing about him. I
Sure.
didn't know if he was 4 foot tall or he was 10 meters tall. I didn't know whether he was a southpaw or orthodox. I didn't know. So it's like we're going into the unknown. So the facts are, you just got to assess it how and when you're in it. So what I had to do was get into the ring and see what I had to deal with and deal with it with whatever came up.
Absolutely, and of course, from your trainer's standpoint as well, Don Charles and yourself, are you happy with the performance? I mean, you can't get anything better than a knockout.
Well, obviously, everyone, no matter how long the fight lasts, you're going to say to yourself, "There's different things you could have done differently," and there was times where you should have done better. But you know what? Overall, the win is a win, and then it's a win that come by knockout. So therefore, you can't argue with the results. It speaks for itself, and to me, I'm happy to have got that win.
Absolutely, and of course, you've also picked up the is it the WBO Asian Pacific title,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, WBO, yeah.
Yeah, so you're obviously ranked in the WBO now. So how important is that to you as well, Ian, and for your future being ranked in the WBO?
Yeah, well, I'd have a top 15 world ranking now by the WBO sanctioning body. So obviously that opens the door for potentially another decent fights where I in the top 15 in the division. So as it be, I could get a voluntary against someone like Tyson Fury, or I could get another world-rated fighter to fight myself.
Abs- Absolutely, and of course, Tyson's cousin, I think, is the WBO International Heavyweight Champion. So
Hmm.
it seems as though you guys are on a collision course potentially to meet with both your belts.
I can't see that happening because the fact is, Fury, they wrap him up in cotton wool, and the fact is, they ain't gonna let him know nowhere near anyone that knows a fish hook from a left hook. So the facts are that will never happen because they're gonna try and keep him as well guarded as they can for as long as they can. Because truth be told, if he was my fighter, there would be no need to put him in there and on right now anyway. Because he's young, you still got time with him, and the camp has got a bit of money in it, i.e., from Tyson Fury being world champion now. So the facts are, why would you put them in unnecessary risks unless it's to your benefit. You take the risk when it's beneficial to you.
Okay. And Ian, obviously, moving forwards now, in terms of, obviously, we've got 6 months left of 2016. You have this very important fight. And also, Ian, in general, if you look at your record, although you've only got the 2 losses, one of them was a split decision and the other one was only a point decision. So really, you haven't been knocked out cold, you haven't been hurt. So far, up to date, are you happy with the way your career's going, Ian, so far?
I can't argue, but obviously the only 2 blemishes are like you said, the 2 losses. But other than that, do you know what? It is what it is, and the facts are, when I first started, I kind of came into it and I weren't taking things seriously. But as and when I've progressed in it and to the stage I've reached now, I've seen things from a different point of view. I've been in different camps and seen how different people work.
Sure.
Been around different people, i.e. David Haye, Anthony Joshua's been around them. I've seen how I've seen their work ethic and all that stuff. So obviously it's rubbed off a bit, and it's allowed me to formulate a new chain of thought now.
Absolutely, Ian. And of course, moving forward, what ideally for you, in your mind, what would you like your next fight to be? And has there been any talk about the next fight as of yet?
No, but the next fight, as it is for the British martial level boxer. I think it's Gary Cornish.
Okay.
We're fighting for the British. Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you and Gary Cornish will fight for the British title.
Yeah.
Has that more or less been signed and confirmed or not yet?
Yeah. Well, we're right now that the fight has been made. It's just out the purse bid right now, so we're just waiting on the results of that.
Okay, and can we expect to see that around September, October time, would you say?
Yeah, it should be about October.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. And of course, Ian, I've got to ask you, of course, on Saturday night, Anthony Joshua knocked out Dominic Brazil. What do you make of that performance, Ian, if you watched it?
No, the truth is, because I was out of the country, I never watched it. But hearing the result I expected that. I thought it would have lasted 5 rounds, so he surprised me when it was the 7th. But I thought it would have gone about 5. But to be fair, from what I've heard about the results, he done a lot better than people had anticipated or people thought he was capable of.
Right. And Ian, up until now, obviously he's won the British, he's won the Commonwealth, he is now the IBF heavyweight champion at 17 with a 100% knockout rate. What do you make of his career so far up to date? Do you think he's doing well so far?
Well, you can't floor it because it's a winning formula he's got going.
Yeah.
And the fact is, but the truth be told is that I'm not taking anything away from him. He went off his own back. He weren't born into any circumstances different to 90% of everyone else. He was born with the same opportunity as everyone else. He made himself an Olympic gold medalist. But coming from that now, he turned over with a £1 million corporation. And the facts are, if you've got some sort of ability and you turn over with £1 million corporation behind you, there's no way on earth that you shouldn't be achieving some of what he achieved with that kind of corporation pushing you.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, there's there David Haye in the studio there as well that night, and there's always talk about Joshua fighting the likes of Fury, Haye, so on and so forth. How do you think he does, Ian, against those guys?
I think, me personally, at this present point in time, I think Fury would beat him. Not for the simple fact, and not for any other reason, but I think just for the simple fact that Tyson Fury, he messes you about. He's a sort of person that will take you out of your rhythm, and I think it would be a horrible fight to watch, but Tyson Fury would win.
Okay, and how would you see a fight with David Haye and Anthony Joshua, Ian?
Before David Haye came back, and then watching his first fight when he came back, going by his first fight, the result, of against Demori, I saw that fight and I thought David Haye would definitely win it. He would knock him out. But then I watched his second fight now, where he came back and fought again. Looking at the second fight, I'm leaning towards Anthony.
Okay.
And I think even though he got the win in the second fight, the manner in which he done it and the way the punches were, the finish in the fight and everything, I just think Anthony's too sharp for him.
Okay, interesting. I think actually, Ian, to be fair, since Anthony fought on Saturday on Twitter when Joshua was trending, many people were saying to keep Joshua away from David Haye because a lot of people on Twitter were saying that they believe that David Haye would beat Anthony Joshua. So it's good to hear from the other side as well. Someone like yourself.
No, but you know what? My opinion is based upon the fact. My opinion that I'm giving you right now and what I've just told you is only based upon the fact that I haven't seen his fight with Dominic
Dominic Brazil, right?
And
okay.
the fact is, I've seen David's 2 fights. I haven't seen Anthony's last fight. And going by the results of that fact, say for example Anthony hadn't fought Dominic right now,
right?
That would be my opinion. Until I watch the Dominic fight, I may be thinking something different from what I see in it from Anthony. But as it is here and now, from them results, I'm siding with Anthony.
Sure. Fair enough. And in general, Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, would you say Tyson Fury is the number 1 heavyweight in the world right now, or do you think he beats Klitschko in the rematch?
Yeah, I definitely think so, yeah, because he's done what no one else could do for 10 years. He went to the person's back garden and he beat a man that was unbeaten in 10 years. So definitely that deserves some respect and some credit.
For sure.
And I think that is enough to put him as the number 1 heavyweight out there.
For sure, absolutely. And of course, Ian, with the world heavyweight scene as it is now, it's rife in talent, British level to world level. DILLIAN, White, Tyson, Hughie, David, yourself, AJ, Deontay Wilder, Joe Parker. I mean, it's such a golden era at the moment, isn't it? Great time to be involved in it.
No, it definitely is. There's a lot of fights looming. And the fact is that potentially there's a lot of great fights to be made at this time. So it is rather fortunate for the fight fans right now, especially at British level as well. There's a good few British fights that can be made that can turn out to be British classics, because the heavyweight British scene right now is thriving. It's just a matter of will everyone fight everyone. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Being the case.
Exactly. But Ian, obviously, with politics now and different TV channels, I mean, from a fan's perspective, and I'm sure as a fighter yourself in the game, surely there's got to be a way where these fighters and promoters get together and make the fights, right?
The truth be told is that the facts are, even though there's different TV channels, the fighter in all actual facts holds the power. If he turns around and he says, I want this fight, I don't care, between the 2 networks have to resolve something and come to some sort of an arrangement to make it happen, the fight will get made. But it's just that a lot of them don't tend to do that because they think, so why should they put themselves out for a fight that would be risky? So that's what a lot of them tend to do. But if they really wanted the fight to get made, it could get made.
Wow, okay. Interesting stuff, Ian. Interesting stuff. Ian, I want to say thank you so much for giving me some of your time today. I want to say once again, congratulations on your victory on Saturday night, and hopefully I can speak to you soon again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity yourself.
So, Ian, of course, I'm sure you had many sponsors and you had a really strong team around you on Saturday night. What sort of message would you like to give out to them, Ian?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just wanted to thank the people that helped me get this win on Saturday, i.e. Simply Freddie over at Gym Box. I've been working with him for strength and conditioning. He helped me a tremendous amount. We got Thibaut, the mad Frenchman, over that Punch Gym London, my trainer Don Charles.
Sure.
And RVR Free Security for sponsoring me. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else. But there's obviously been other people who've helped me to get to where I am. But
yeah, absolutely.
If I haven't mentioned you, don't think I've forgotten you.
No problem. Ian, thanks once again for your time, and I wish you all the best.
All right, no problem. Thank you.